Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singapour.
My name is Sankriti and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, rain, landslides and road closures continue. Sri Lanka death toll rising. And FDA criticizes education reforms.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Several roads in the Northern Division are currently closed due to heavy flooding. In Lambasa, all the low-lying areas have been underwater since early yesterday. Eleanor Terangai View has more.
The heavy downpour experienced since yesterday unleashed some swift and nasty floodwaters that spared nothing along its path. This was at Ndreketi Lailai Irish crossing at around 9 this morning. Just a couple of meters beside the crossing is the Nakusa Bridge, also underwater. At Ngawa Road, the Mbotha Bridge was also underwater and not accessible to vehicles. This is the road to Urata village, inaccessible to both the public and vehicles as the floodwaters have swamped the road and the bridge. At Wunibao village, the bridge is flooded. A big tree trunk lying across the bridge, preventing any access by vehicles to and from the village. At Siberia, the Emily Flats was closed as floodwaters overflowed from the drains onto the road. The Wunimoli Bridge near Korotari was also temporarily closed to all traffic as it was underwater. Vehicles were waiting for the water to recede before they can cross. The Navakuru, Nakelikoso and Ngelimumu crossings, as well as the Langalanga and Wuniwutu flats outside Lambasa, were also heavily flooded and closed to all traffic. Drivers are urged to take extra precaution when driving to and around the low-lying areas as floodwaters have overflowed from drains onto the roads. Police are monitoring the flooded areas. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
The wet weather of the past few days may clear later in the week. However, the threat of heavy rain over the next day or two continues. Felipe Naikaso has more.
With the trough of low pressure slowly moving over the Fiji group, the weatherman is warning certain parts of the country will still see some heavy rain.
The clearing bit will eventually come in towards the later part of the week. So what we should look forward to right now is the rain will gradually ease, but with that stated, there will still be pockets of isolated heavy falls, mainly along the eastern part of the group and also towards the low and low Meviti group.
Significant heavy rainfall was also recorded for most parts of the group in the past few days. Undu Point in Vanulevu recorded 270 millimeters of rainfall in the last 24 hours.
Even though that the rain is pretty much easing, but members of the public should always remember that the ground is already saturated, so any small amount of rain can always lead to flooding.
Meanwhile, several roads around the country were affected due to flooding, with some roads still closed. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama is calling on all Fijians to extend arms of friendship to Sri Lankan friends and neighbours living among us in Fiji. Bainimarama, in condemning the horrific acts in Sri Lanka, says Fijians will fight this heinous acts by condemning any and all forms of religious intolerance in the strongest of terms. Rachel Nath reports.
Prime Minister adds we must actively work to rise above hatred and fill the world with love.
On an Easter Sunday that should have been filled with nothing but joy, family and worship, terrorists deliberately targeted the church with their bombs and their hatred, once again aiming to instill fear in the hearts of those looking for peace, acts that have no place in this world, especially on the holiest of days on the Christian calendar.
Bainimarama adds for Fijians, our nation's deep ties with Sri Lanka has made these horrific acts all the more devastating.
May we pray for the victims, for their loved ones, and for all Sri Lankans. May we pray for the recovery of the injured. Around the world, there is a violent assault on religious freedom of foot. with no group of faith union.
Opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka, who once helped coach the St. Joseph rugby team in Colombo, acknowledged the kindness of the people. Rambuka says Sri Lankans are scarred by the many wars dating back to the early Portuguese explorers and colonization, and Fiji stands with Sri Lanka. The National Federation Party has conveyed heartfelt condolences to the affected families of the Sri Lankan terror attacks. Leader Professor Biman Prasad extended prayers of comfort and solace in the hour of grief to the families of the victims. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
The number of lives lost due to the Easter Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka has risen to 310, with over 500 wounded. As the realities on the crisis unfolds, the island nation has been placed under a state of emergency, with security measures of past dawning on the country. Rachel Nath reports this all comes after a string of bombings on Sunday, targeting 3 churches and hotels in the capital.
The military has been given sweeping wartime powers to arrest and detain suspects, powers that were used during the Civil War but withdrawn when it ended. The president says the measures could be confined to dealing with terrorism and would not impose on freedom of expression. The violence was the worst the country has witnessed since the 26-year civil war ended in 2009. There are fears the attacks could spark a renewal of communal violence.
At the moment, it's a terrible situation. We need a lot of reconciliation. On one hand, we have people who are really suffering with this terrible grief. On the other hand, we have people who are living with fear. What can happen next?
Interpol will deploy a team of investigators, including experts in disaster victim identification, to Sri Lanka to assist local authorities.
What one can say is that the attacks that took place yesterday were clearly carefully planned. It needs a considerable degree of sophistication to organise 6 deadly attacks more or less simultaneously.
A day of mourning to remember lives that were lost in this heinous act will be held in Sri Lanka tomorrow. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Several concerns have been raised by the Fijian Teachers Association concerning the current education reforms. Speaking at the opening of FTA's annual delegates conference in Suva today, President Nethani Ndrovesi claimed the current reforms are anti-Itauke and need to be rectified. Kelly Vadala reports.
In an effort to lift the level of services and productivity, the Fijian Teachers Association has claimed the reforms in place needs to be relooked at.
About 60% of them have shown displacement of Itauke teacher leaders. Itauke are over 50% of the Fiji's population and previously proportionately had leadership posts in more than 50% school leadership positions.
In response, Education Minister Rosie Akbar, who opened the conference, said the ministry will look into these concerns.
I heard you loud and clear, and I think that was the rationale behind inviting me. I could have taken a run and not accepted your invitation, but I believe in dialogue. I believe in dialogues, I believe in conversation, and I believe in stakeholder partnership. There's always room for dialogues. Okay? I once again take note of the concerns that you raised.
Akbar adds it's also important for teachers to have a positive attitude towards their work and to raise issues directly with the ministry rather than online.
I try to find out why is this teacher saying that. Is there any truth in that? So you can use that medium to communicate, but I'd rather you call me and talk to me and send me a text.
The association also raised concerns that some of the members did not receive consistent pay while some contracts were not updated. There were also concerns that married teachers posted to rural areas couldn't take their families and this affected their level of productivity. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Still to come, RFMF says past wrongs dealt with. And job fair promises future for unemployed. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Oyao vasitsai se lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Military officers involved in any form of torture during the past political upheavals have been dealt with accordingly. RFMF Deputy Commander Brigadier General Mohammed Aziz confirmed this while presenting submissions to the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. Ali Kimbia reports the submissions were presented to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Defence today.
The RFMF has made its stand clear that any military officer involved in any form of torture or other disciplinary issue will face the full brunt of the law.
So your good self are aware of the numerous cases where individuals have been charged and trialed and in most cases convicted and sentenced for offences relating to this.
Brigadier General Mohammed Aziz highlighted this as one of the ways the military is complying with the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. He says this was done in the 1987, 2000 and 2006 political events.
Most of these conducts or the non-conducts are prescribed in the engagement rules that we are so accustomed to. It just not talks about the engagement of firearms, but the scope of what their roles are.
The RFMF Deputy Commander says continuous training ensures soldiers are aware of the various laws and rights involved in their work. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A 58-year-old retired military officer who had been facing a murder charge has been found guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter by the Suva High Court. Wame Wangavanua was involved in the death of a 23-year-old man in Raiwanga in November 2015. Catherine Krishna reports.
While delivering his judgment, the Suva High Court judge said he sympathizes with both the victim and the accused, given how the incident led to a loss of a life. The court heard that on November 23, 2015, in Raiwanga Suva, Wangavanua attacked the victim with a tree branch who was trying to break into his car. As a result, the victim sustained serious head injuries and died. In court today, the judge said the victim should not have indulged in crime. He said as a result of that, he lost his life, and Wangavanua, who was trying to protect his family and property, was charged with a serious offense. In mitigation, the defense has submitted that a suspended sentence be given, as the accused had not attacked the victim with intention of killing him, but had been trying to make a citizen's arrest. The defense also provided the court with 3 character references and outlined how the accused had served the country in peacekeeping missions and had no previous convictions. The matter has been listed for sentencing on April 26. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Workplaces are encouraged to adopt the ILO's SOLVE program, a training package which focuses on the prevention of psychosocial risks and promotes health and well-being at the workplace. Speaking at the World Day for Safety and Health celebration in Lambasa today, Assistant Minister for Employment and Productivity Alvik Maharaj says with the major changes happening in the world of work, it is imperative that we prevent workplace injuries and illnesses and the associated risks. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
The focus of the World Day for Safety and Health celebration in Lambasa today was the SOLVE program, which covers the management of health promotion at the workplace.
I request you as managers, supervisors, OHS practitioners, you will implement these programs at your workplace. My ministry staffs are also available to conduct more training and awareness on the SOLVE program in your various workplaces.
The SOLVE program was initially launched by the International Labour Organization in 2012 and deals with the prevention of stress and economic stress, violence, tobacco and smoke-free workplaces, alcohol and drugs, nutrition, physical activity, healthy sleep and HIV/AIDS in the workplace.
Work sustains us. It is through work that we meet our material needs, escape poverty and build decent lives. Work also gives us a sense of identity, belonging and purpose. Work can also be dangerous, unhealthy, unpredictable and unstable.
This year, Fiji set aside 3 days to commemorate World Day for Safety and Health, to remember those who have died been injured, and those that have suffered some form of diseases which are work-related. The theme for this year's celebration is safety and health at the heart of the future of work. Eleanor Turangayu, FBC News.
The inaugural National Job Fair will begin tomorrow, and more than 30 organizations and higher education providers will be part of this. This is being held to inform young people about the clear pathway from education to productive employment. Kritika Kumar has more.
The country's first ever job fair will be a one-stop destination for Fijians seeking employment.
They will be able to see over 30 organizations in one place. Hiring companies will be offering positions for employment in their organizations. The higher education institutions will also be providing advice on how they can further their education.
Event coordinator Karen Fong says it also promotes the hiring and career development of all individuals, regardless of their qualification.
Job seekers is to come prepared, come confident, don't be nervous, come as you are, and meet with these hiring companies that are looking for potential employees. And there's companies, some companies are hiring, have positions, about 85 or so positions. We have
Hardware material company RC Manubai says this allows for a direct human approach, and they're encouraging everyone to attend this and take advantage of the opportunities available.
It's a good opportunity for especially the youngsters after leaving the school, and if you're qualified after the university as well, it's a one-stop shop where
the National Job Fair will be held at Suva's FMF Gymnasium from 8 a.m. tomorrow and will be ending on Thursday evening. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The grand finale of FBC radio station Mirchi FM's biggest promotion, Ba Mehedam, will begin on Thursday. 20 participants will be required to sit on a mat on their bums day and night non-stop without sleeping. They will be given 20-minute breaks every 4 hours, and the last person sitting will win a ready-to-be-constructed home. Mirchi FM program director Renika Gounder says the preparation and countdown have begun for this unique radio concept and competition. The big sit-down starts midday Thursday at the Roops Mega Complex in Nakasi.
Everybody is excited, everybody is ready for this. This is first time ever in radio industry we're having a competition like this, Ba Mehedam, and the last person sitting down gets a 2-bedroom mat frame house that is worth around $60,000.
Later in sports with Jamie, Fiji Under-20 rugby is ready for New Zealand in the Oceania Championship this weekend, but first, Rachel is here with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. Changes made to SPSC listing rules. And in growing Fiji, world-renowned beer enters local markets. Stay with us.
Voila, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singatoka. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Koroko, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM.
Leading business tonight in an effort to entice companies and investors to list on the South Pacific Stock Exchange, amendments to the listing rules have been made. Exchange Chief Executive Krishka Narayan says there was a need to revamp the listing rules to realign them with the Companies Act 2015. Here's more details.
The amended rules, which came into effect on April 15th, replaced those established in 2010.
Much more detailed, so it will make compliance a lot simpler for the listed entities, and at the same time it provides everything that the Companies Act requires in terms of compliance of being a publicly listed company. And even for any publicly unlisted companies which are out there, or even private companies which are thinking of becoming public companies, what we've done is the compliance framework has been set up in such a way now that if you pick up the listing rules, there would be so many things that you can just pick up from there and comply, and while you're complying with the company with the listing rules, you would actually be in turn complying with the Companies Act itself. So from our perspective,
with this change, detailed training will be conducted for the 19 listed companies.
On the 29th of April, we will be conducting a training, and the training title is The Changing Role of a Company Secretary in Corporate Governance. That will be a full-day workshop, and the Stock Exchange will be talking a lot about the amended listing rules in that particular workshop. And of course, it's open to listed entities as well as to unlisted organizations which are out there.
This is in line with the SPSE's major strategic goal to increase company and investor confidence.
Sanifa from HFC Bank joins us now with the local stock market.
Let's review the action on our local stock market last week. The SPSE saw 22,109 shares traded in a total of 31 transactions valued at over $119,000. 6 listed stocks recorded market activity. Fiji Care Insurance Limited shares gained 5 cents to close at $1.70. Kontiki Finance Limited shares were up 1 cent at $1.04. Paradise Beverages Fiji Limited shares rose by 10 cents to $13. Fijian Holdings Limited was the only stock to record a share price fall, down by 3 cents to end the week at $1.90. Following the various price changes, the overall market capitalization declined marginally by 0.19% and ended the week at $3.52 billion. That's a wrap from our local stock market, Vinaka.
Thanks, Anifa. On to today's exchange rates. As it was set this morning, the Fiji dollar did well against our major trading partners, Australia and New Zealand dollar, as well as the Chinese yuan and the euro. It showed some slippage against the US dollar, the PNG kina, and the Japanese yen. Onto the commodities market. Oil prices was up nearing $66 per barrel. Gold was up closing over $1,274 per ounce, and silver closed at $15.01 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, a new beer has entered the local market, giving Fijians more variety to choose from. Officially launched in Nadi last week, Lion Beer is a predominantly Sri Lankan owned and operated company. The company is listed on the Colombo Stock Exchange, and its stock is part of the S&P Sri Lankan 20 Index. The distributor says they are confident that the Lion Beer will be enjoyed by Fijians. Lion Beer is distributed across 27 countries.
The difference for Lion is it is a world-renowned beer, and the taste of lager is quite different from other beers. And looking at the awards, it has won around the globe, and that's the reason we want to bring it to Fiji and make people have a taste of a world-class beer.
And that's a wrap from the business desk for tonight. Jamie is next with sport.
Thanks, and good evening in sports tonight. Suva dominates at Fiji Games. And Chelsea in top 4 after frustrating draw with Burnley. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Hundreds of athletes braved the wet and windy conditions within the Greater Suva area to participate at the 2019 Fiji Games over the Easter long weekend. Suva dominated, winning 16 different sports at the Games to finish way ahead of everyone on the medal tally with 60 gold medals, 75 silver and 53 bronze. It was a close finish for second place, with Nandi and Rotuma both ending with 28 gold. However, Nandi pulling through with a better silver medal count of 22 and 23 bronze, while Rotuma managed 13 silver and 13 bronze medals, in addition to its 28 gold to finish third. Nandronga finished in fourth place with 11 gold, followed by Naita Siri with 9 gold medals. Suva also commanded the Fiji Games darts competition, which ended yesterday at the Suva Defence Club, winning 3 gold in the mixed doubles, ladies singles and triples, and also bagged 2 silver and 4 bronze medals. Nasinu finished second with 2 gold, while Lami settled in third place with 1 gold. With the Pacific Games in Samoa just around the corner, Badminton Fiji will be doing a lot of strategizing to select its final team as they aim for more gold medals at this year's event. It was a tough battle at the Fiji Games competition over the weekend, which also doubled as testing ground for its players. Badminton Fiji coach Brent Monday says the week-long competition in Samoa will be intense, making the task of putting together the best possible team even more daunting.
Tough job on our hands to select this our final selection for Pacific Games, so it's a bit of a tough job on our hands to make sure that we get the team right, that so we can sort of come home with some medals. So yeah, looking positive.
Over 1,000 runners, including a 67-year-old wheelchair-bound athlete, will participate in this year's Island Chill Suva Marathon, which was officially launched today. The event, dubbed as the Pacific's greatest road race, also aims to breed more long-distance runners while raising awareness on non-communicable diseases in Fiji. Koroi Tandolala has more.
Suva Marathon Club President Gina Hong Lee says they expect more participants after the race received worldwide accreditation earlier this year.
Our aim is certainly to encourage all those who are doing longer distance to then go on to road racing and longer distance running. And if we were to reach to support to go for Olympics, yes, but even then in the Pacific Games.
Launching the race, Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wanganambete says this is a great initiative to raise more awareness on the killer disease.
I can only say that this needs a whole of nation approach, and all hands have to be on deck so that we promote a healthy lifestyle. And there's a lot of evidence that suggests that physical activity actually helps a lot with curbing non-communicable diseases.
One of the pioneers of the race, 67-year-old Francis Chang, is urging both the young and old, including people living with disabilities, to be part of this race.
Well, what motivated me is because I'm a physically disabled athlete. So when this thing came to being, the marathon, I was so excited about it because, you know, it's the only one that's lacking in Fiji.
The marathon will be held on July 27th, featuring a full 42-kilometer race, a half marathon and a quarter marathon. Koroi Tandulala, FBC Sports.
Sports journalists from various local media outlets are participating in the Fiji Sports Media Symposium in Suva. The 2-day event, which started today, was organized by the Fiji Sports Media Association in partnership with Fasanok and aims to strengthen and build the confidence of sports journalists to report fairly and provide factual information to the public. Former sports journalist Mataya Kola today reminded participants the importance of their role as a sports journalist.
The key thing I want to leave with us is passion. Have the passion for the job. You know, a lot of times people won't notice it, but it's the articles that you put up. You know, you just know that you've done, given it your best shot.
The Vodafone Fiji Under-20 rugby team is ready for its first match of the Oceania Under-20 Championship against New Zealand. The Keleleawere coach side knows the match will be no walk in the park, as the opponent will be chasing its 5th straight Oceania Championship title. Leawere says there are 8 weeks of preparation together, and a number of experienced players in his squad will be invaluable assets in their campaign. The Fiji Under-20s take on New Zealand at 7 p.m. Friday in Gold Coast, Australia. Meanwhile, the latest talent of the New Zealand rugby production line was off to the Gold Coast last night for the next step to the World Junior Champs in June. The New Zealand national under-20 squad that takes on Australia, Fiji and Japan at the Oceania Championships is confident of its chances at the meet. Chelsea has moved up to 4th place in the English Premier League standings after being held 2-2 by Burnley FC this morning. With rivals Tottenham, Arsenal and Manchester United all losing over the weekend, Chelsea were unable to take full advantage. A win would have put them in 3rd place. All 4 goals in the match were scored in the first 24 minutes of the game. That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather, and then Weird and the Wonderful We catch up with the man that's watched Captain Marvel over 100 times. Details after the break.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
If you're interested in a tablet for watching lots of video, Huawei is offering 2 new models for exactly that. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope your long weekend was fabulous even though it was full of showers and it wasn't convenient at all. The reason for these showers is a low pressure system and we're still under alert of heavy showers. Now taking a look in the west, quite mild rain was active here. Eastwards from Pak Harbor to Suva, it turned gloomy with heavy showers indicated for tonight. And up north, another rainy day was witnessed here. At sea, easterly winds 20 to 30 knots, moderate to rough seas. Please do not go out to seas as it's quite dangerous to do so. For the tides, high tide at 9:53 p.m. and low tide at 3:46 a.m. Sunrise at 6:18. For tomorrow, we can expect more showers which may turn heavier at times with possible flooding. Tomorrow's temps, majority of the centers will have higher 20s. And looking further on to Thursday, we're most likely to continue with gloomy conditions followed by showers. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, should small boat operators be penalised on the spot for not adhering to weather warnings?
I don't think they should be punished because people have their own right, and if anything happens when they go out to sea, it's their fault.
I think they should be fined because they're not following the weather warning. I think the boat owners should be fined because they're wasting the taxpayers' money. The government using a lot of money looking for them. I think the boat owners should be fined for not following the warning.
Yes, we have to. It depends on the laws. For our government, they have to follow the laws.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, rain, landslides and road closures continue. Sri Lanka death toll rising, and FTA criticises education reforms. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment this week, we're asking, should small boat operators be penalised on the spot for not adhering to weather warnings? Visit our FBC website to answer. Our shot of the day sent in by Asaili Tamanitokula all the way from Pacific Harbour. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, neva ngomal kay leloma, ngongai nakas on tumakarong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong ng Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Gua da tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Wana tuma ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere nawaluan.
Na vengo fane na tao ngo singa toka, kita ndo talita kana Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Bula FM namba 2 na sere.